Hey folks, welcome to Transplant Helper again today. Today we're going to be talking once again about getting your Social Security/disability payments on the very first try. Now there are certain tips, certain tools, certain tricks, if you will, maybe even you might call them secrets, that you need to understand and know in order to receive those payments as soon as possible and not to allow this thing to drag out for months or even years in the court systems, just hoping and praying that you might get something in the end. And so basically it comes down to several things.
Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Number one, it comes down to objective evidence. And I mean by that objective evidence, this has to be a specific test, a surgery, or a medication that you might be on that are going to cause them to immediately look at your case and say, yeah, this person really has a problem. Now, you take, for example, test, pretty much anything that you are out there trying to receive disability for, there's probably going to be some form of an objective test that you can receive. For example, say with my heart condition, there was objective testing, things like echoes, EKGs, heart caths, biopsies. There were different things that could be performed on me test-wise that would completely prove my condition. I did not have to base my condition just on, say, symptoms, such as fatigue and that sort of thing. Now, you need to prove that type of stuff because that helps to prove your inability to work, but a certain test or a series of tests can better objectively prove what you have versus a subjective, thing where you just simply say, oh, I got back pain or, my heart hurts. You can't just do that and expect to go out and get your Social Security disability benefit. So an objective standard when it comes to testing. Second to that, oftentimes they can see those objective standards presented in the medications that you're on. If you're on a type of medication that, say, causes severe side effects, then they understand and know that you would not be on this medication and experiencing those side effects if it were not a trade-off for a condition that you have. So, for example, if you're maybe a heart patient and you're on a cholesterol medicine or a blood pressure medicine, that's not going to cut it because that's not really a really big side effect type major medicine. Versus the other side of that, if you're on, say, a beta blocker or some form of medicine like that, where there is quite a bit of risk or danger to taking the medication overall, then they're going to automatically assume if you're taking that on a regular basis, there must have been a good foundation for it, and that's going to help to prove ultimately your disability. So testing, medications, and then thirdly here, surgeries. Having major surgery can prove your disability. Now, that not all surgeries will be successful, and not every condition can be corrected or changed at all by surgery. I know many of people who have back problems and they've had numerous surgeries really to no success, but at the same time, they would assume that if you've gone through a procedure, through a surgery in order to try to fix the problem, then you put forth some effort and you probably have a substantial problem, even that the doctors notice that this might even be an option. So proving objective evidence, that's the number one thing here that you have to have. And it doesn't matter what your case is about, how long you fight or don't fight in courts with this, if you even have to go to court, the objective standards are what are going to matter as much as anything. Now, second to that, and this is a really, really big one here, and it's probably the real secret, if there's a secret, the real secret to getting on Social Security disability really fast, or maybe even on the very first time, is that you have kind of an automatic listing. Now, Social Security disability has what they call the blue book of listings, and it's basically a listing of impairments that you can find on their website as well as other places. I'll link one here, right here in the middle of the screen and below here, that's been put together by another YouTuber and a great, co-worker in this, if you will, Jonathan Ginsburg, and he put together a little website that links you a few different places and lets you see those listings. Now, there are basically 14 different body systems that are divided out, and underneath each body system on that list, you can then find the sub-listings, and you can see if there's something on there that's specifically been identified in your medical record. Again, your medical record has to have an objective standard to prove that, but if it does, you might just be a shoo-in. I mean, you might apply for that, even online in any form, and then boom, if that shows up, you get your Social Security disability approved, and then before you know it, your checks start coming in, and after a process of 24-ish months, you get Medicare. So a lot of benefit to having that standard, just cut and dry listing there in that blue book. And again, I'll link to here. And then as a third resource, and I really want to say this, I just mentioned his name. I really, really want to encourage you, go over to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be linking up here at the very end of this. You'll see a little round button with a subscribe or whatever. You can travel to his channel. Go over and visit Jonathan Ginsburg's channel. He is a lawyer that works for Social Security disability cases every single day. In my opinion, from what I've been able to find out, he happens to be one of the leading experts as far as winning Social Security disability cases. And what's even better about him is I have noticed in watching all of his videos, and there are hundreds of them, he's very thorough, he's very precise, but he's also very honest. I think if he were to sit down and give you a consult, he would tell you straight up, we can win this case or not. And he'll allow you just to move on without wasting your time, wasting your money, that sort of thing. I think Jonathan Ginsburg is a premier leading Social Security disability lawyer, and I promise you he can help you out. And you can even start by watching his videos, subscribing to his channel. If you comment below his videos, I'm telling you from experience, he'll reply back. He'll let you know what he thinks about your case, and if he thinks it's something he can consider and you want to do that, he'll be happy to give you a consult on that. Again, great guy. So that's your resources. That's the things you need to know. Number one, objective standards. Number two, be a part of the standard listing on the Social Security disability websites or on the link I put here, or go ahead and contact someone like Jonathan Ginsburg, and I promise you he can help you out. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, stay stronger, friends.